So good morning, and thank you so much for joining me this morning, Rick. What kind of brought you to consider training with the Women's Consortium? Because I believe, am I correct that this is going to be your first training with us?
Yes, although I did a workshop session at the annual day of wellness. I can't exactly remember the precise title of the day, but
That's all right.
In Cromwell, I did a breakout session on spirituality last December, which I really enjoyed doing. But to answer your question more directly, I have been attending trainings from time to time at the Connecticut Women's Consortium while I was actively working at a treatment in a treatment setting. I'm no longer doing that. I'm basically semi-retired.
Congratulations.
But thank you. But I maintain my credentials, my certification, and one of your longtime trainers, Lauren Doninger, with whom I'm friendly, suggested that I ought to apply to the Women's Consortium to do a training. She's known me for several years, and for some reason she thought I would be perhaps an effective trainer. So it was really by her suggestion that I pursued it.
Well, we're glad that she suggested it. We're very excited about your upcoming training.
Me too, thanks.
Yeah, so speaking of which, we have this little kind of prompt. If you could describe your training in 10 to 15 words, can you do so, and how would you do so? You don't need to count them specifically.
Okay, so spirituality is no. Okay, so I would say that the purpose of my training is to show that to define spirituality, its difference from religion, and how a spirituality-informed approach can enhance treatment opportunities for our patients.
Very excited about this upcoming training, Rick. One of the reasons actually that I ended up being the person to interview you is just I'm a person of faith myself, and I'm very much looking forward to kind of the opportunity to learn more about how you kind of suggest that practitioners can kind of be mindful of that in treatment planning. I think it's an important thing to kind of consider and be aware of. So tell us a little about your kind of work that has brought you here up until this point. I know you said that you were working in the clinical setting and that you've recently retired.
Yeah. I actually my primary career has been in the clergy, and so actually I've had a career and made a living from religion. Yeah. And that's why I think that I come at spirituality from perhaps an interesting angle. And while some may be a little bit suspicious about a rabbi and a clergy person who's coming in to talk about spirituality, especially in terms of treatment, I really don't have any major biases about religion with this at all. And I think that spirituality can be a wonderful adjunct to treatment, and religion doesn't have to come into play at all. In fact, unless we're in a faith-based treatment setting, I don't think religion should come into play at all. It can be a turnoff to some of our patients. I was ordained in 1982. I was a full-time congregational rabbi for 25 years.
Wow.
And then in 2007, I left the full-time pulpit work, and I received a certificate in drug and alcohol recovery and counseling from Gateway Community College. That's where I got to know Lauren Doninger, who I referred to earlier. Yes. She was the director of the program at that time, and then I did my internship, and then eventually got hired at the APT Foundation in New Haven. And I was working in an outpatient setting at the beginning with what they call medication-free patients, but after a couple of years, I began to concentrate more on medication-assisted treatment. So I was working with a lot of patients who were receiving treatment with methadone or with buprenorphine.
Mhm.
I did that for 10 years. And then in 2017, I essentially retired. During that time, I had also been working part-time at a synagogue in Torrington, Connecticut. And I basically retired, but now I say semi-retired because I'm working as a rabbi again in the congregation where I grew up in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Oh my gosh.
The name of the congregation is Road of Sholem. That's where I was a kid. That's where I
Oh,
went
wow.
to religious school and spent a lot of time visiting with the principal in his office, not for good reasons. So the kids who knew me during those days, and they found out later on that I became a rabbi, they were totally incredulous, and they still can't believe it.
That's pretty fun. I love how you've kind of come full circle there.
Right.
Yeah, that's lovely.
The question is, can I stay out of trouble there even now? That's the question.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Only time will tell, right?
There you go.
Is there anything else you would like to share with folks about your upcoming training?
A training like this, sometimes what can happen is that the people who really need it and can use it are not necessarily the ones who sign up. The people who sign up already have a leg up because they're interested in the topic. Mm-hmm. And very often people who will sign up for a training like this are coming in with an attitude of openness and willingness and acceptance. So really, one of the reasons I'm so excited about it is that I'm not in it to change any minds or to make any kind of radical or major inroads in the way people think about treatment and spirituality, because I believe that most, if not all, the people who will sign up already know a lot about this. So to be quite honest, I'm a little bit selfish about this. I'm looking forward to learning from them and to listening to what some of their insights are so that it can enhance my own knowledge. But I also have some things to bring to the table in terms of what I've learned about spirituality, interconnectedness, how spirituality can break down the barriers and obstacles that we deal with in recovery, where we're trying to help people reconnect with their families, their loved ones, and with community, and reclaim the essential self, their essential self that has been, I will not say lost in addiction, but has been shadowed and fogged up during the addiction life. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes perfect sense.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Rick. This has been so lovely to chat with you more about your training, and we are so very much looking forward to having you kind of train formally for the Women's Consortium.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it as well. Thanks, Morgan.